But remember, this is a Tottenham team that managed to climb into the top 4 last season. We've split this into 3 parts. The last 11 games of last season, they took 26 points from a possible 33. Then the great start to this season, 23 points, the most they've ever had after 10 games of a Premier League season. Just the 1 defeat in that spell. And then the last 10, 6 defeats, conceding 21 goals, conceding the first goal on 8 occasions, conceding 2 or more in 9 of those 10 games. It feels like it's gone wrong quite quickly. Why do you think that is?
Number of things. Kulusevski was out for a period. I think Bentancur was out for a short period as well. I think they're big players for them. I think they made a big impact last season. Antonio Conte, who I think, has got a massive spark on the touchline when he's in really good form. He just looks like he's just drained a little bit. He looks like he's a little bit sort of less engaged when you watch him on the sidelines, when you watch him in his interviews. Can't quite put my finger in it, but what I would say, Dave, is they're 5th in the league. They can get close to top 4 tonight. They're in the Champions League. They're still in the FA Cup. There's a lot to play for in this next couple of months. But it was always my worry a little bit. We talked about Conte before. The style of play just drags the fans down a little bit. And I said that last year. And the players sometimes want an idea that's more expressive. Those players have been used to Pochettino and other managers. You know, they didn't buy into Nuno's style. They didn't buy into, not buying in, I don't feel like they're buying into this as much, the counter-attacking style. They want to be on the front foot. They want to press. Tottenham don't do that. The possession style isn't what this team have been used to under sort of Pochettino. A lot of them still there. So I think from that point of view, there's just a little bit of potentially, I don't know, dourness that's sort of, if you like, crept into the club. But there's no need for it to be that way. They need to get themselves right because they can still have a really good season and get into that Champions League.
What about that point on style? Do you think that's why it perhaps feels worse than it is for Spurs?
Yeah, but it's nothing new. It's not anything that people said was going to be different when he came in. I think everybody accepted that. But the price on the ticket when you have a pragmatic way of playing and you speak in press conferences the way Antonio Conte does, they're the negative parts of having that type of manager. He's not the only one. There's other managers we've seen like that before. But I think it puts more pressure on your results, and the results are just not there at the moment. But when you actually talk about the style, I just wanted to look at a graphic. We asked for it this morning in terms of all the teams last season who qualified for the Champions League in the major sort of European league. So we look at this graphic and how the top teams play. So we know the top teams, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Barcelona, PSG, the top 4, high possession based, high turnovers. So it's, you know, we know the way the game sort of moved forward now, away from a pragmatic style in terms of pressing from the front, having lots of the ball. So possession, high turnovers per game, presses per defensive action, how quickly you get after the opposition. And then you go to the bottom of the graphic, and we always know Atletico Madrid are almost the outlier of that in terms of what they've done for the last 10 years. We know they'd be bottom of that. But to then see Tottenham 16th out of those clubs, obviously you look at the possession, high turnovers and the presses per defensive action, so they stand off teams, they let teams have the ball a little bit more. So they're almost going against the grain of what the top teams do. But we know that because of Antonio Conte and the way he goes about it. But as I said, and the same with Simeone, Atletico Madrid, but he has had results and done great things for that club. You've got to get results. And that's why only 12 months probably into his reign at Tottenham, I wouldn't say people are talking about sacking him, but there's that sort of question in the air. You think, should we sign him? If you're a Tottenham fan, I think half of them would be saying, yeah, he's a top manager, give him the funds that he needs. And the other half might be thinking, I'm not sure this is worth the hassle. And I think that's just a conundrum at the club right now. But as Gary's rightly said, it could swing the other way, where they go on and finish and have a great season, or it could go the other way.
Yeah, I think fans are far, you know, through social media, through the clips, through football always being on television, through the fact that they're going to pay to watch, whether it be on television or whether they pay to go into the stadium, fans are so much more fussy now, and rightly so, about style of play, wanting to see attractive football, front foot football. That we used to see 4-4-2, rigid systems, play the ball direct, get it forward. Compact was the word that was always...
Entertainment.
They now want entertainment. My team lost yesterday, but I feel more comfortable about how they played in that game losing because it was a really good game. It was a brilliant game. So I don't think teams are happy to see their team lose. You're right, results are important. They're not happy to lose playing a more pragmatic style.
There's just one thing, we were talking this morning about it in the meeting room, and it's a bit... When you think of the young coaches coming through now, do you think there's coaches who sort of aspire to be sort of a pragmatic manager, or like a Rafa Benitez, Jose, Conte? It feels like everybody who comes into the game, a young coach, want to play sort of the Pep way. That's the way they've been influenced. That's the football they've watched. And I'd be really interested in the future how many managers we see who have that style at the top end of the tables.
But Gary was talking about what might be possible for Spurs still. Let me show you this over the next 6-week period. This could be with a cup run potentially in the FA Cup. They go to Preston with big games in the Premier League, Manchester City. They've got another couple of London derbies to look forward to in February at home to West Ham and Chelsea. And then the Champions League games as well. Exciting times. This is what they fought so hard for. This could be a really exciting time for them.
Honestly, I think Spurs have just got to snap out of it. They've got a really good opportunity here to get into the top 4. There's an absolute marathon of this season still to run. They've got big Champions League games. That's a dream tie against AC Milan. That's a game you want to play at San Siro, back then obviously at the Tottenham Stadium. You've got FA Cup to look forward to. Tottenham have got a lot to look forward to this season. They've got to snap out of this little mood that they're in, this sort of sulk, it feels like, and what's hanging over them.